All right, live. Well, I won't need this. All right, there we go. That's turned off. Nobody in here yet, so add anything there. Put that down. Put that on there. All right, there we go. All right. 30 seconds and nobody yet. Let's see who pops in here. Go ahead and get started talking about it. There's somebody. Do a little live here. Talk about this all aboard marine pole mount. Some of the changes I made to it. I took it out on the water, and needless to say, had mixed feelings about it. I liked the concept, but it had a lot of issues as far as ease of use and functionality, and for my liking. I'm sure it's hard to make something that fits all, one size fits all, and it's kind of what they did with this setup. I didn't get the all sync, so I've just used the pole, and I got the twist handle. That's the main reason for getting it, is that way you can turn the transducer by just twisting the handle. You don't have to turn the handle to turn your transducer down at the bottom down there. But the problem I had with it is it's set off to the one side, either port or starboard side of your trolling motor. Well, I got the port side, which it doesn't matter which one you order, at least not on the Garmin, because all you do is flip the bracket over and put it on the other side if you need it on starboard. I put it on the port side, and after it was mounted, and I got on the water, which I thought about, I mentioned it in the last live when I put it on, I thought this trolling motor shaft would be in the way, it was in line with this transducer. When you were looking off starboard side, I thought it would put out a dead area where you couldn't see nothing. And I got out there, and I probably fish off that side of that edge of the boat more than I do the front or the other side. And I got out there, and sure enough, it had a big blind spot, so I couldn't see a lot of stuff on that side. And not only that, this little arrow up here at the top, I'm sure works great if you have the all sync. But when you put this handle in there and you're up there in the boat, you can't see what direction the darn thing's pointing because the little arrow is only about that long. And this handle covers it up. So I brought it back home after cussing it. And also from using it when I got home, my wrists from twisting on that thing, like being like this and then twisting it, my wrists were sore the next day. So I came up with a couple of solutions. First thing I did was I made a new arrow that you can actually see now when you're up in the boat. And it's just a real simple design on the arrow. But I got an arrow now that when you turn, you can actually see it from up above. Because when you were up above looking down at it, you could not see this little big arrow right here because this handle's in the way when you're looking down at it. So I got an arrow now you can see, and it doesn't. You can. It's tight, but it's not so tight you can't move it. So you can adjust it when you're on the water. No big deal if it moves a little bit. The other thing is the position of this. It's set over here on this side. So every time you turn the transducer, you couldn't see through the trolling motor shaft. So I fabricated a bracket. Came home, got it today. Fabricated a bracket so it sets in the front. And now you can turn, you can see all the way starboard, all the way to about probably 4:30, 5 o'clock. And then back the other way, you can see basically all but just a little area straight back behind the boat where this is going to be in the way. That's just something I have to deal with. I don't really look behind the boat that often anyway. But now I have unobstructed views to right and to both port and starboard, or right or left, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to say. Unobstructed view with my transducer now. So, and not only that, when I made this bracket, I actually moved the pole back a little bit. So now if it drops down a little, I can drop it down a little further, and I don't have to worry about my prop hitting the bottom of my transducer. Was another worry. The other thing that I did is I ordered a couple things off that I needed to do. So I cut the handle down because the handles are just extremely long. So I cut the handle down because I stand pretty close to the front of my boat. The way my boat's designed, I can stand fairly close. But so I cut the handle down. But if I do want to stand up, I'm a little further away than when I'm sitting down in a chair. So when I want to stand up, I cut the handle down, but I made an extension. And this extension, what I did is, you ever have one of them dip nets that have the little deal you push down? You can get them on Amazon, like 10 of them for like $5. And I ordered some of those. And then all this is a piece of PVC conduit that, like for electrical, that's swelled. And I drilled a hole, and it's got a hole in the end of this. Put that in there. Now when I put that in there, you can slide that in, and it locks it. So now I got a longer handle, and then I also put a T on it and some ends. But I put the same thing in the end of this handle. That way I got something I can hang on to help turn it. So I don't always have to hold it like this. I got something I can actually turn. Use my whole arm, not just my wrist, to try to like that. And then it's got that button on it. I can just push it on the button and slide it out. Now when the handle's short, same deal. I got another one on the end here. I can push in on that, slide that off, and then lock it on my little short handle. So I can use that to turn it instead of relying on breaking my wrist. I can just use this. I can grab a hold of it right here to turn my transducer. And it makes it a lot easier to where you're not straining, hanging on to something like this trying to twist. You actually got something you can hang on to and twist like this instead of being at a weird angle. But yeah, got all that done today, along with a couple other little projects. I got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of guide trips coming up. Try getting out on the water tomorrow and do some filming. I had such a time with this thing. The other day when I was out, I filmed, but I haven't even looked at it to see what it looked like. But I've got a bunch of other stuff I got going on. Of course, the boats. There's the batteries. They're all charged and charging up, and getting it all ready to go for this week's guide trips. And then I sold out of all my sinkers, so I've been making sinkers right and left. I did those today, getting all that stock back up. And then I sold all my spooks, my super spooks that for catfish spooks. So I've got all by 1,000 of them to paint up, get epoxy, whatnot. I only got about 9 bags left total in the building. Everybody's buying them up as fast as I'm making them. And then I got a couple of brackets to make for this olive board. I had a couple guys that have it, and they hollered at me and stopped by, and I told them that's what I was doing, was working on that today. They stopped by and seen that bracket I made to move it to the front. They were like, "Hey, I need one of those." I'm like, "Well, I can make you one." So I got to make about 3 more of these brackets. And one of them's got an all sink. He's actually going to bring his boat over here because it's got to be the same spacing between his shaft and this, and the shaft on this for his chain drive. So we got to take some measurements so I can make it the same. Do you still do catfish, guys? Tanner, yes. I actually got a trip Friday night. Catfish Friday night. I got crappie Tuesday. And next Friday, I got another guide trip for catfish. But I am still guiding catfish. I've been guiding crappie mostly this spring. I normally just do catfish, but the other guides have been, everybody's been pretty busy, I guess, so I've got some of their overflow. I don't really advertise for crappie, but I will take somebody if the other guys are all booked and whatnot. That if you just want to go with me. I don't know, I've done 7 or 8 crappie trips. I do pull cranks, take guide trips pulling cranks, and that's getting ready to kick off for crappie. We're starting to see them with cranks now. So I love pulling cranks for them. And I like live scoping them too. I also love pulling cranks. So that's what this video is basically. Just a little review of the all-aboard pole. I like the pole, don't get me wrong, I like it. It just, for my setup, and like I said, I think they try to do a good job of making one application that works with all the trolling motors, and then they just use a different bracket for the Ultrax or the Lowrance or the Dakota Lowrance, Garmin. They just make a different bracket for each one, and the rest of it is kind of a generic one size fits all. So you gotta I like it to work like I want it to work. So I just kind of customized it a little bit so it fit my setup better. It was fairly easy to do. I mean, it didn't do anything major. The hardest thing was I made a steering stick for it that doesn't twist. It's a solid pole, kind of like what I had with my other setup. I just made it. I got aluminum for it, but before I start cutting and welding and milling and all that, I just made the deal out of PVC, and this is actually the old handle off my other one. I just cut it off and then glued this on there. That way I can still, because I'm so used to turning it by hand, I can still put this in there and turn it like that using my pole. And then I got another arrow I can stick on up here so I can see, or just use this as my arrow, use the handle. So, but yeah, all in all, like fishing's pretty good. Catfishing's really picking up, which it's going to right here before the spawn starts. Probably got another 2 weeks before they go on beds, I'm guessing. It'll probably be after the first week of June. The blues and flatheads will start spawning, and they'll be under till 4th of July, a weekend after 4th. But yeah, that's what I got going on right now. If you do want to book a guide trip, there's the number right there. And you see this truck in the parking lot, I'm out fishing. You see this one in the parking lot, I'm out there fishing. But that's the number for the guide service. Or you get a hold of me on Facebook. But we got the Ingo cooler out and loaded up. time to switch to Menace. Summertime. I'll probably still use a jig here and there, but for the most part, it's summer. There's a lot going on in this garage, fellas. This is the disaster corner. There's a couple fishing rods there. Just a couple. I put the H&H pull rods in the boat, pulling cranks. Gotta remember them. So I'm gonna try pulling some cranks this week. It should be about time for that to start working. So I'll be busy with that when I'm not cleaning carpet. When I'm not guiding for cranks, I'll be picked up my Garmin Force this morning. Nice, Scott. I think you'll like it. I like mine. I have the spot lock on it is bar none light years ahead of me in code, in my opinion, and quiet compared to the Trinova. Or I talked to a guy today, got a hold of me. He's got an Altera, which is basically a Trinova with another motor on it for the lifting and for the stowing and deploy feature. But other than that, he uses the same motor as the Trinova as far as for steering, and he's gonna go get one too. So, but my old Trinova, poor girl's just sitting up here. There she is, 3 years old. She's dirty. I haven't cleaned it off yet. I need to clean it up. I literally pulled it off the boat, put it up here. Foot pedal I've never used. It's still got the wrap on it from where they shipped it to me. I just threw it in a compartment in the boat, and that's where it stayed. Here's 2 extra steering collars and a rebuild kit. It's got all the gaskets and bushings and everything in there. A couple steering collars, remote right here. I'll make somebody a deal on it if they want one. And you see this right here, what that is, I've got a double L seat bracket. So you can mount your transducer. That's how I mounted the transducer. It goes on it like this. And what that is, I just put JB weld on it. That way it will make it a little more solid. After I put it on there, it keeps it from rocking because it'll move just a little bit. And that will keep it from moving at all. And then whenever I took it off the change steering collars, I have to break it loose, clean it, and then put it back on. You don't have to put it on there, but I did. I'll make somebody a good deal on one. It works. It runs good. It's just, I got tired too hard on things. I break stuff. I'm just rough on it. I break steering collar every couple, 3-4 months. But that's what I got going on. Just got her all finished up. Ready to go out on the lake. I am going to machine down here on the bottom where this is. They changed the way they done these. In the picture, it's just a 1-inch deal, and then you can use your own mount, or you can buy a mount. This is the Garmin one here, where you can use this or buy the one they make, and you can put it down there and put it on there. That way, I've got some 3/4 and 1-inch solid bar round stock coming. I'm gonna make me one so I can use that mount. It's just easier than sitting here. It's got an Allen wrench deal. You loosen it and then you can move it. Tighten it back down. I just want one I can just lift out of the water and just move it. Easy peasy go, you know. Hey, Mark. I assume that's Mark, or is that Lyle? It's one of the two of you. Catfish Weekly. I think that's Lyle. But yeah. Yep, I figured it's Lyle. Lyle, I wasn't happy with something, so I modified it. Imagine that. I started cutting on it, making brackets and everything else to move it where I wanted it, how I wanted it. But yeah. But I think that T on the end of that handle where I can make a handle adjustable different lengths. Cutting that handle off and then putting that T where I can just snap it on either one of them to turn that. That's going to be a lot easier on me, I think, than trying to hang on to it and twist it like this. Like I said, that afternoon, my wrist hurt from sitting here trying to do this so much, and I wasn't used to it, and I was fighting it, and I couldn't see nothing on the starboard side of the boat. But that's a cheap fix for have a shorter handle, and then if you do need a longer one, you can just put your piece of pipe. Just use them little deals like you on a dip net. You just put it in there, pop just like that. It's attached, solid, don't move. You can sit here and just by twisting it, just moves just slick as a whistle. I think I'm gonna like it, but a little bit of paint on it, make it look pretty. I didn't even bother to paint my aluminum bracket. I got powder coat here. I figure I'm gonna wait and see how I like it. And if I really like it like that, I'm gonna take it off the trolling motor, and then take the olive board off the two brackets I got bolted together here, and I'm just gonna weld them together, sand it off the powder coat right there, and I'm just gonna weld them together, and then I'll re-powder coat the whole thing to make it like one bracket. Is what I'll do. I just didn't want to mess with powder coating or painting and all that, and if I didn't like it, I wasted it all. It's aluminum, it ain't like it's gonna rust. So it'll work good. Should. There's a couple other little things I think I'm gonna have to tweak on it, but all in all, I think it's gonna work out all right. Anybody got any questions about anything? I did get asked, how hard is it to lift this trolling motor out of the water? It's not hard at all. It's basically 2 fingers is all you need. I mean, I can sit here and pop it loose, and then just with open hand, just like that, it's nothing. It's super easy to lift up and down. Just handle out. It's got that lift assist on it. It's a heavy trolling motor, but that lift assist works awesome. But yeah, that's all I know. See, today's Tuesday. I ain't got no web shows tonight. There's no Panfish Nation tonight, no Catfish Weekly tonight. So I think I'm free to goof off tonight. I'm probably gonna paint spooks is what I'm gonna end up doing. I only got 1,000 of them sitting over in a box. Got 10 bags like that one. Put everything back, get up in the morning, go try this beast out. I tell you what I did do is I bought a transducer guard to put on my transducer if that just hanging up in the air with rocks and whatnot. So I bought one from Apex Tackle, Apex Fishing, their sonar shield. And one thing I did, what I didn't like about it, in the bottom, it was like where the plastic was molded, it had real sharp ridges. So I took some JB Weld epoxy, their epoxy, that 5-minute epoxy they have. And I mixed it up and then poured it down in there to fill them little cavities up, even with them sharp edges. And I put a little piece of white felt cloth while it was still tacky, pushed it in there on it. It was pretty well set up, but it was still good tacky. And put that in there, that way when I slide it up on my transducer, it ain't scratching the bottom of my transducer up. But it goes on, everything pretty decent, works pretty good. snaps on. I haven't had any problems with it coming off. I know some guy, a couple of people tell me to take a piece of Velcro strap or something to strap over there because that thing will vibrate and it'll pop off, pop open and could come off. But I haven't had an issue with it yet. That's like the guys at trailer with their graphs and leave their covers on their graphs, and they lose their covers. They got to put them little bungee cord things on their graphs. I put mine in the truck. I don't trailer with my graphs on the boat at all. I set them in the back seat, and when I get to the lake, I put them on, drop the boat in. When I pull out, before I pull away from the ramp, I put them back in the truck, and then when I get home, I just set them right here face down with my remote. That way I don't forget my remote. And my sunglasses, I just set them right here on the front of the boat. Everything's together. I know I grab it. I don't forget nothing that way. And then I got little wipes here, clean the graph off. But I've still got my old pole on here from my live scope set up before, in case I don't like this enough. But I think moving it up here, you know, so when I'm looking right or looking starboard or port, I think that's going to make a difference because this shaft won't be in the way. And I can see port because, I mean, I was out there, it was over here is where it was. And when I'd look starboard, the shaft was in the way and I couldn't see nothing on the left side of the boat. And I was an unhappy camper. I was saying very bad things. There'd be a lot of editing on that one. Look at that. If I end up posting that video, there'll be a lot of editing to that one because I was not happy. Not happy. I'm going to cut this off. A couple people came in, a couple people did, a couple people left. Seen a few pop in, right back out. But the rain is over. It's pretty out here now. A little cool, but the wind finally laid down a little bit. The neighbors' flags aren't standing straight out like they're going to rip off. Went over to parking, hardly moving at all. So I'm going to log off here and go in and check out that footage from the when I was out there day before yesterday and see if there's enough of that to make a video. And if there is, I'll make one. If not, I'll film tomorrow. So, thanks for watching. Take it easy, y'all.